fish move out of the way when you get close to them.
What the hell kind of name is Soap, eh? How a muppet like you pass selection?
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Matt, and I hope you enjoyed that little bit of an intro there. That is just a glimpse of what Battlefield 1 could look like if we implemented some better voice acting and the intervention sound for every single gunshot in the game. I think that's a fantastic idea. But today I thought I'd dive into something that I really want to talk about for a while, and that's Battlefield 1's campaign. You know, so in the background, some remastered Super Mario Bros. 2 gameplay, because I think that's the last game that DICE has made that actually has a decent campaign. Not to say that Battlefield 3 and 4 had bad campaigns, but the story just lacked a lot, and that's why most, including myself, play the campaign, is for the story. Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 just lacked everything story-wise that Battlefield Bad Company 2 and 1 were so strong in, and that was character. You know, they had really good characters in the game, and that's what made it so great. And there were very few cutscenes in Battlefield 3 and none in Battlefield 4, which I don't think is necessarily a good thing at all. You know, cutscenes, in my opinion, are a good way to let the player sit back and really enjoy the story and, you know, come to conclusions about what's going on in the game and kind of just chill for a minute and just take a look at what's going on instead of always playing. This video isn't about the past, it's about the future and kind of the past at the same time because it's World War I. See what I did there? So we know very little about the campaign right now for Battlefield 1, which is a good thing. What we know so far is that DICE wants to take the campaign in a different direction and focus on multiple stories rather than just one, which is what they did in Battlefield 3. They focused on, well, they only gave us one other mission. I think it's a good idea to focus on a bunch of stories rather than just one. It gives the game a new feel every single time you play it, which is a good thing. They also want to give people a history lesson, so obviously they got to stick to some of the history things in this game to make sure that it's actually, you know, realistic, because everybody, you know, bitches about realism. So we can probably assume that there's going to be like 3 or so different characters, you know, one that focuses on the Ottoman side of the war and one that focuses on the other side of the war. And one thing I'm really hoping for is for a character that's on the German side of things, you know, an enemy side, and that we get to see the enemy's perspective of the war. I think that'd be a really cool kind of way to tie everything together. Maybe a way to tie in both characters, you know, like at one point they work together or some shit like that. I'm not too sure, but it's just an idea. You know, and this isn't seen a lot in games that focus on different characters throughout a story. I think Call of Duty has done it best in a way. Modern Warfare 2 gave us a glimpse of what that would be like in No Russian.
Remember, no Russian.
Which is a terrible mission, and World at War sort of gave us a glimpse of that, you know, playing as different characters, plays the Russians, plays the Americans and stuff like that. So they kind of gave us a glimpse of what was going on there. What I'm not hoping for is that we get 3 different characters with 3 different stories that don't connect whatsoever. You know, the fear here is that with the length of the campaign, we won't really be able to feel fully immersed into a certain story because they're all so short. You know, some people may favor 1 or 2 of the different characters over another, but we'll end up playing like the less enjoyable character more than the others because DICE made more missions for that character rather than the other ones. So I think DICE will need to focus on balance above anything else, and don't just let us play one character for one mission and then switch to another mission and then switch to another mission, and that will basically be it. Another idea that I had was to split the characters up into chapters. You know, while chapter 1 focuses on one character and the next will focus on another, creating mini campaigns almost, but in a way they all kind of tie in. You know, let me know what you guys think of that down below. I'm interested to hear some really dank ideas. Another thing that I really don't want to see with single player, this is moving over kind of the multiplayer side, is multiplayer unlocks. You know, it takes away from the multiplayer experience, especially for the large amount of people who don't really give a fuck about the campaign, and they just go right to multiplayer, you know, and they'd rather just play strictly multiplayer. It's a way to force a player to play campaign, I guess, if they really want that weapon, but why bother? You know, keep single player strictly single player to save everyone the trouble. You know, Battlefield 3 had a similar system, but instead of with the co-op missions, which was a hit or miss for me, I would say, the fact that some of the weapons ended up being fantastic in the multiplayer made it seem stupid not to unlock them through the co-op missions. And some of the missions are actually pretty fun, like that one where you eliminate the guy in the villa at night. That one was pretty fun, I gotta say. But having to repeat the missions over and over again was just fucking stupid. The one mission where you're on the Humvee and you go into that little what the fuck are they called? It's got a fountain. It's like some type of area, and it's nighttime, and they're shooting at you from the building, and the little bird comes and destroys everything. It's that co-op mission. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I really hated playing that over and over again, and having to repeat them just to get more points made it really annoying. So I hope they don't go that route. Instead, hear me out. I think of sort of like a survival mode would be really cool to implement into the game. You know, something since it's World War, something like where the dead German soldiers they come back to life. was something like zombies. You know, I think that's a good one. And there's weapons on the walls, and you have this currency system, and you buy these weapons, and there's this box, and it's random weapons, and you buy that. It's a little bit more expensive, but you have a possibility of getting these guns. I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding at the same time. Dinosaurs, make it happen, dice. But some type of wave-based survival would be really cool, similar to what we had in Bad Company 2. Onslaught, I think it was called. I'm not really too sure. I never actually played it, but it looked pretty fun. And that's a way to unlock some multiplayer weapons or skins. That'd be cool. Instead of making it the co-op way, which I didn't really like that much. Something that doesn't change the pace of the multiplayer experience for some people. Ideally, what I want from Battlefield 1 is not the humorous style of game like Battlefield Bad Company 1 or 2. Although those games were done fantastically, both story-wise and gameplay-wise. I think DICE are really going to have to go the serious route on this one, you know, stick to the history and stick to the gripping kind of story that will interest everybody. I think it'll probably be pretty brutal and pretty detailed, but I'm really hoping they take a step back and look where Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 failed in terms of story. But anyways, just thought I'd put out some ideas in terms of single player for Battlefield 1. Let me know what you guys want to see down below and give me some good ideas as what you think would be a good change for the campaign. I know this isn't Battlefield 1 gameplay, it's because I didn't get into the alpha, only famous people did. But anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. This will be my second video within 1 month, so I'm doing pretty good so far. I should have a PC build video coming up, just kind of telling you guys what's in my PC for all the tech guys out there. So yeah, I should have that up in a few days, as well as some other videos as well, hopefully. So if you haven't already, give me a like down below and subscribe if you haven't done already. So that made no fucking sense. And subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. It would mean the absolute world to me. So let's see if we can get 500 likes on this video. It's not really a stretch. You guys usually are upwards of 600, 700 every video, so it's fantastic. So yeah, thanks again guys for the last fucking time. I'll see you later.
Once upon a time not long ago, when people wore pajamas and lived life slow, where laws were stern and justice stood, and people were behaving like they ought to good, there lived a little boy who was misled.